Very often, when I partner with organizations on diversity, equity, and inclusion, I'm often asked, especially if they're in the beginning of the journey, where do I start from? This is such a huge initiative. What's a good starting point? And for me, the answer is usually everyone has their own starting point. What is your story? Find out your story, why you're doing it in the first place. What is your personal experience? What do you hope to happen by doing this initiative? And I often find when people do this exercise of self-awareness, firstly, why I've gotten myself into this DEI journey, it's mainly from a space of a personal experience. So somebody would have experienced discrimination, somebody would have experienced marginalization, somebody would have noticed it with a colleague, and they have a personal mission of making a change, to make a difference, to create a culture in the organization that's more safe and less toxic, and a culture that brings out equity and balance for everyone. Now, when you get your own purpose, your mission statement, your actionables, your program gets developed naturally after that. Because every organization, or even in the same organization, each region has a different challenge, has a unique challenge. Especially in the areas that where I'm predominantly operating in, the APAC region, we have challenges with different cultures and religions and race and color and ability and stories and socioeconomic. You can't best practice anyone's policies or a global policy across every region. So I always say, start with self-awareness. What is your mission? What is your why? What do you want to hope create? Second, create a space for inspiration, because it cannot be only one person or 10 people's agenda in the organization. Inclusion is a way of being. It has to be everyone's agenda. It has to be everyone's purpose. So what do you do to create that inspiration in the organization? And therefore, you start working on interventions, on workshops, on talks, and getting people to create space of sharing their stories so that they feel that there is a space for me to voice what I've gone through and what I want to do to make that change. And lastly, the third step is, how do we continue that accountability that we've built from inspiration? I always say inspiration is a great thing. It drives you. It gets you up in the morning. You want to do things. But the challenge with inspiration, it's difficult to sustain. You have to be wanting to do it every day. You have to keep firing that piston. You have to keep looking for those triggers to continue that consistent inspirational mode. And that's where driving accountability gets important. So your internal communications, your HR, your policies, the kind of conversations you have in your daily huddles or daily meetings, that's when you want to drive the consistency of this message. For us, when we do this work in TransforMe, the belief is, when we do diversity, equity, inclusion, it is not about the doing. It's about creating a space of being, where we don't start thinking about such a topic. It needs to come from inside, and it needs to come out that it's just natural for us to treat everyone equally. And so this is the 3-step we look at when we are driving or building a diversity, equity, inclusion culture in organizations, which is, we start with self-awareness, your unconscious biases, what's happening currently, what are your challenges, and what is your why, your purpose in driving it. Second is, create a medium to inspire every single person in the organization. And third is, create a consistency model, a model that everyone holds themselves accountable to. And together, I feel we can make a huge difference in this important mission that we are working towards in each organization.